Hi, everyone, and welcome to Book Club with Bay. I am Bay, and this is Bay. Say hi, Bay.
Hi, Bay.
This is other Bay. Say hi.
Hello.
So today we are talking about Unchained by Jay Lynn / Jennifer L. Armentrout, depending on whether you're listening to what they say or they're looking at the cover. Because the cover disagrees with that statement.
Well, I think she rebranded. So she started off doing all of her naughty stuff as Jalen, and then she's like, "Fuck it, everyone knows it's me."
She knows. They all know.
Yeah.
I lost my nail oil pen.
But yeah, so okay. Ratings.
I found it.
How do we feel?
I don't know. Like, it was fine. It was fine. After the end of the last series we did, it was kind of nice to just have something mindless. I will say.
Yeah. I would say overall it was
fine.
Honestly, okay, it was like a cold delivery pizza.
Yeah.
I have to heat it up, which makes it a little weird, but it's not that bad. Like, I'm not miserable.
The toppings wrong. Like, it's not like a topping you hate, but they still like added, like, you ordered just a cheese pizza and they put pepperoni on it. You're like, fuck, well, I guess. Like,
yeah, it's like a cold delivery pepperoni pizza, but you didn't ask for pepperoni.
I actually really, this book would be, as far as Jenny book goes. Okay, let's just add that clarification in. As far as Jenny books go, were this not a romance novel and were this a novel, I would like it 10 times more.
Well, okay, so I'm going to say this.
The plot had potential. The plot had potential.
In our day, we have read many a Jenny book. This is probably the most tolerable Jenny book
and
I have ever read.
And it was her second book she ever wrote.
Which is sad because she got worse. So anyway.
And I was like, this is bad. I was like, I don't hate this.
That said, though, like, half of this book was sex acts that didn't involve sex.
Yes.
Yeah.
So real quick, I'm going to bounce off what Bay said. So we have, our character, we're going to go over characters, okay? Real quick. Let's
wow.
So we have.
It's been so long.
So we have Lily and we have Michael, who are basically our co-main characters. And I will say
Michael is not the love interest, though.
Right. But
it was very confusing
beginning. Well, you know, we'll get to this, but there are 10 people that could have been love interests, and it was very weird. So anyway, real quick. One
quick point is they set up Julian from the beginning because in the first chapter, like, she was jizzing her pants.
But it set up like a love quadrangle. Like,
it did. Set up some Zoe Redbird shit.
Yeah, it was setting up some Zoe Redbird shit, and it never happened. But by virtue of that, in a romance book, if we're following two different people, the second dude we follow is the Moinky Boink dude. But I will say this. On Bay's point, where if this had just been a novel, it would have been fine. In novel, Michael should have just been the protagonist.
Yeah, I agree.
If it was just like a novel, and we're not worried about including Boinkity Boink Boink, Michael should have just been the protagonist.
Yeah, definitely.
And then we could have just had like a book or something, or you could have had Lily. Honestly, you could combine Lily and Michael's characters. Is like something we were talking about as a character condension or whatever. Michael doesn't need to exist. His powers or whatever could be someone like it could have been Lily's powers and it would have been fine.
Well, based on the audiobook, right?
The name her Michelle.
And also just the original branding, how it's still sold on Amazon and everything. This was supposed to be book 1 of Nephilim Rising.
Yeah,
but then it became a standalone book, so it's just been rebranded as Unchained Nephilim Rising instead of Unchained and Nephilim Rising novel.
Right. Yeah.
Which I think if we had that book to context, it would be different.
Michael's storyline would be far less pointless.
But in the context of this book, it is incredibly pointless. And the other point I'm going to make about this is that when it comes to romance novels, like romance novels with heavy like blankety boink boink. Okay, you got to compartmentalize. All right, do you want to be a super heavy boink boink book, or do you want to be a book? Because there's nothing wrong with like heavy romance novels, even when it's like fantasy stuff. But I have read some fantasy romance novels that are done well, and what they do is you just the plot is there, but like who gives a shit? Because that's not what you're here for. You're not here for plot, okay? So focusing so much on side characters as if this is a real book, not that whatever, you guys know what I mean. As if this is a real book is annoying when you're trying to read a romance novel.
As if it's not just erotica. When it's like when you're reading erotica, you're here for the erotica.
I'm not here to watch somebody do things that go nowhere. Like I don't care.
Yeah. Well, also on the erotica point, I mentioned this to you guys before. When you're writing erotica, you know how you don't describe the hoo-ha as a cleft.
Gross.
Jenny does that in many of her books, doesn't she? She did that in the Gamble Brothers, didn't she?
I will also say this.
Fucking Gamble Brothers.
Jenny
God.
is subpar at writing sex scenes. Her sex scenes are okay, but they're not great.
I don't think I've ever read a really like exceptional sex scene though.
I've read some that are, I don't know. Like
I think
hers were boring.
I think this is something. Yeah, I think we've mentioned this previously. I don't know, but even if we have, I need to bring it up again because it happens multiple times in this book. What is it with books? Sex scenes, especially erotica ones, where like, you know, upon climax, they're both just shouting each other's name.
Right.
Does that happen?
That
like,
never
is it just
happens.
me, or does that not happen to IRL?
That has never happened to me.
That has never happened to me either.
Like, I could think of nothing more off-putting
than you just screaming each other's names. Yeah.
Like, okay, another thing is that the pacing, we're going to talk about this, the pacing of the sex scenes is bad. So usually if you're writing like an erotica novel, you don't need 10 back-to-back sex scenes.
No.
Jenny?
No.
Like, we need to actually have like a break betwixt the sexy times. But we don't ever get it.
The other thing as well is, right, like, okay, so Lily starts off the book as the quintessential virgin, except she's not the quintessential virgin. Of course she does. She would do everything but bang at the beginning, right?
But that was because they aren't allowed. No, yeah, you can't kiss and bang. It's like a rule for their people.
Yeah.
Which is it because can they bond with each other? Is that why?
Well, you know what? Because we don't know. Like, there's a lot of like the lore that's kind of just left hanging out there.
Yeah, because it was meant to be.
This was supposed to be a series.
Yeah.
But like the guy at the okay, so there's a guy that she has casual hookups with.
Yeah.
At the beginning, right? And we meet him, and they go to the laundry room of a bar to make out, and the bartender's like, "Don't destroy the laundry room again, guys." And apparently they both just give really good, like apparently he's really good at finger banging and she's really good at hand jobs because they destroyed the
over
laundry.
the underwear. Over the underwear also.
Yeah. But like they destroyed, like apparently last time they destroyed the laundry room, they dented the fuck out of it this time, and I'm just like, it's a hand job.
Right? It ain't that deep, bro. It ain't that deep.
Okay, so real quick characters. So we have Julian, who is our fallen angel, and we stan.
I personally do stan. I really do personally stan, but I'm a sucker for the LI.
Okay, a thing that bothered me, this is revealed later, but this is a book club with Bay, not spoiler free, book review with Bay. So anyway, the thing that annoyed the shit out of me is his fucking reason for falling. Don't nerd him like that. Like,
right? No, he's like him murder a pregnant mother or something. Like, I needed to be bad.
He's not like other girls, okay?
Yeah,
that's my character. I'm not like other girls.
Writing advice from Book Club with Bay. If you have a person that was supposed to be evil at some point or something like that,
make his crime not be baby killing.
Right. So, like, for example, Damon. Okay. Damon is genuinely a bad G. But this guy, he's just like, I've been a good person this whole time. And I'm like, well, that's a fucking snooze fest. This is erotica. Where's the tortured male love interest? What the fuck?
Yeah.
I don't
She's
care.
like, because she's like, how many people have you done a bang with? And he's like, literally 0.
Well, yeah.
It's
It's
like-
how many children do you have? And he's like, none. What, you think I have like 50 kids running around?
I was waiting for him to
Stupid.
be like, oh, I'm obsessed with you because I'm your father. And they're like,
I was too. I was waiting for it
I
to
was
take that
ready for
direction as
that.
well.
Yeah, well, and again, that's why I feel like this was also meant to be a series as well, because the big baddie one, right? The big baddie one, he was like, there she is type thing. And I'm thinking, is she
I
his
think
daughter?
that's her dad. Yeah, I think that's her dad.
But we don't get to find out because
But
Jenny
she's also
decided,
not first
no,
generation or whatever.
No, but he's fallen, so.
I mean,
yeah, so, okay, so with let's just
Yeah, the
discuss
lore, I
the
suppose.
middle of the lore. Okay.
real quick,
So,
let's just do
Apollo-
characters real quick.
Yeah, let's
Okay.
finish up
Okay, let's
characters.
finish
We're almost
So there's
done.
Michael.
We have Julian, the love interest. We have Michael, the other protagonist, not love interest, just on the side over here, boring the shit out of you. Then we have
Just doing
Nathaniel,
stuff.
her dad-like figure, who I'm pretty sure he wants to boink her. It's heavily implied.
Everyone
don't know,
wanted
though,
to
because
blink
we
her in the
find out
first
he's,
two
like,
paragraphs.
millennia old. So
Yeah,
Well,
he's.
so is the other one. Julian's a
yeah, but
like,
he,
super-
but
Yeah, but he didn't
Julian's
raise
being, like
her.
the outcast.
He
He's being,
didn't.
like, the
Okay,
outcast.
no. He was there
Melania.
from the same age that Nathaniel was there because she was taken when she was like 17 or something like that.
No, she was like 5.
Oh, okay, but still, he's been
Yeah,
like
yeah.
just watching her for 8 years, like just waiting until she's legal or some shit.
Yeah, okay, kind
No.
of, yeah.
Yeah, I think though the difference as well with them being, well, like, okay, Julian's obviously way older than,
Well, no,
Nathaniel.
she was 18.
However,
She was 18 when they met. Because it was 8 years ago.
not
She's
when he
26.
found her.
Julian?
It's implied. Yeah, they kind of say it that like this happened.
Julian and her met when she was 18. She got kidnapped on her like second mission thing or something.
She was 17. It says.
Yeah, but her mum did it, when she was little. She
Yeah.
grew up there. But like Julian's been like an outcast. Like he's been like the outcast rebel for Millennial, whereas like Nathaniel's been like boss man for Millennial. So I think that's. I don't know if he wants to bang her or not. It's weird.
Their relationship is not like father-daughtery. It's more like
I think
tortured, weird father figure that now wants to boink.
Mm-hmm.
I think part of it as well is I think
Fran,
what confuses
apparently.
it is for some reason everyone is just like, she's just like, but I want to do a thing, and everyone's like, okay, Precious, you do a thing because you're a good girl. Well, you're actually a naughty girl, but we'll let you get away with everything. That's my biggest issue with that. She's 12, and everyone treats her like she's the spoiled only daughter, which I guess effectively she is.
Yeah, well, because something they don't really explain is the fact that she's like the only female there because the only other female we ever heard of is dead. So,
Yeah.
she is the only
Briefly
girl.
mentioned that, and they treat her like it.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, if she said, I want to go hunting in my ballerina tutu, they'd be like, okay. She's like, I want to feel like a princess. And they're like, okay, you feel like a princess because you are one.
So we also have Gabe. And
Yeah,
Gabe
he's on
is
screen
the-
like twice.
and we mentioned a guy named Damon, and I feel like his twin, Damon.
Yes, I feel like it's a callback.
Also,
I feel like it's a.
yeah, I was like, we almost got a demon. When I heard his name, I'm like, we almost got a demon.
Almost, but not. Thank God. Demons.
Then there's Luke. Then there's
Demon.
Luke. Don't.
How many demons? Okay, no, it was that they fought demons. One was a demon, and then the other one was named Demon. All spelled differently.
Yeah, so there were the demons in Covenant. There was the character demon in Lux, and then there was the demons in the Gargoyle book, but the demons in Gargoyle book were actually demons and that was spelled correctly. The other one was D-A-E and then another one was D-E-A.
Demons. Anyway.
Like, stop it.
So we have like, so I feel like she was setting up
we-
Gabe and Damon to be like people for like subsequent books. And it just
Yeah,
never
maybe.
happened.
I guess.
We also have Rafe and Remy are two other just side guys that are just kind of around.
Yeah, and then there's Luke. We need to talk
Yeah,
about Luke.
Luke's the best
He's
friend.
important.
Yes, he is her best friend since they were 5.
Who was in love with the other chick
That died. Yeah.
And then there's
Anna.
also Micah, who was our suspect.
Micah. Who is our red herring?
Yeah,
He's our red herring.
Here's the thing: red herrings don't work.
Like-
Writing advice from book club with Babe. Your red herring doesn't work. Stop it. Okay.
You're like, I said to you guys before the stream, just once. I would love the red herring to actually be the bad guy.
I know, right?
That would be the plot twist of the freaking century because no one's expecting the perceived bad guy to be the bad guy.
Yeah.
I think that's
Because they're all be like, oh, it's a red herring.
That's something we talked about in Blackwoods when we were coming up with stuff. Is we were just like, no red herrings. 'Cause it's dumb. I hate red herrings. Like, I think they're stupid, and this is why I won't use them because nobody has ever been like bamboozled by a red herring.
Yeah, I mean, the times where they do potentially work. Like it also depends on your target audience age, right? Like Snape in the first Harry Potter, perfect red herring, because like it's targeted to 11-year-olds.
Well, but also Snape actually did stuff.
And but in the first book,
That was
actually
that was a really good red herring, actually. Even as an adult
then,
watching those movies, I'm like, damn, good job,
yeah,
guys.
But then Snape also in like end of Half-Blood Prince and throughout Deathly Hallows until like the big reveal that surprise, it's actually a good guy. Like it works.
It works really well.
Right, but also at the same time, it works so well because he's like a triple agent. So he has actually done some unsavory shit. So
And
it's
he's
not like
nice. And
right,
he
He's
doesn't
an asshole.
so you don't feel like an idiot as the reader for being like Snape is fucking sus. Because he is sus. Just not for the same reasons that you think he is, which like doesn't make it pointless. Whereas in this, we're like, this guy's fucking sus. And I'm like, then clearly it's not him. Like,
yeah. Then clearly you have the wrong guy.
yeah, because it would have been one thing if like they had Luke's the bad guy, spoiler alert. But
Yeah,
it would have been
best
one
friend.
thing if like Micah was also a half bad guy.
Yeah,
like,
I would have liked that if he was like an accomplice.
Yeah, like that could have worked if he was like the obvious accomplice that Luke had to get rid of or something.
Hence why he beats him.
Then
to a
it's
pulp.
not really a red herring and it doesn't feel pointless.
Yeah.
like as soon as there is an obvious red herring, I start looking at the best friends because I'm like, it's going to be one of you. It's going to be someone whose betrayal is going to hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I think
if
if she had actually had Micah have done something that he shouldn't have done, then it could have worked just fine. Because then, like, one, your protagonist isn't a fucking idiot.
I mean, like, it's fucking Micah.
I mean, because like, what does Micah do bad in this book? What he does is he
doesn't like Lily.
Yes,
That's his
and
crime.
he was told it follows her to as protection, and then he was like, you're sticking your tongue down a fallen's throat, and that ain't good.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't approve of her sexual activities because it's taboo.
Which is not
what a
really,
bad guy.
which is because like none of them do, and like that's not really enough for me to be like, oh yeah, he's clearly the bad guy.
Yeah, the main difference is though she can't go get me a milkshake, and he'll go, yes sir, how high sir, how high must I jump sir? Because that's how she treats them all. Okay, this is what I've read before. Speaking of Lily, this is her character. Are you ready?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, so this is from a review on Goodreads. The problem with this book's plot is that the actual plot finding out the true traitor within the sanctuary, because this book tries to be a book and a romance novel.
Yeah.
Was so utterly eclipsed by Lily's escapades. It was Lily this, Lily that. Lily eats a hamburger. Lily gets a Happy Meal. Lily is unhappy about the Happy Meal. Lily sips a Coke. Lily gives a guy in the laundry room a hand job. Lily goes out to kick minion asses. Lily jumps from rooftop to rooftop in an effort to unleash her frustration. Lily freaks out at Julian's stalkerish behavior while being turned on by him. Lily gives Julian a blowjob. Lily gets fingered by Julian.
And this is why, in my opinion, if you're going to write erotica, because it's one thing to write sex scenes within a book. Like, sex scenes within a book is not the same as writing erotica.
Yeah.
No.
And even like having like a lot of romance in a book is not the same as it being a romance novel. It's different. But if you're going to write erotica, okay, the only plot you need is just like
Is 2 characters or 3, doesn't matter.
or 5, whatever.
Boinking.
Like you need
People
them.
boinking.
You need them to boink, and then you need them to be tortured about it or whatever the fuck. And then you need the consequences of that to be a thing. And then on the side, at some
They
point,
need
she
to
gets
break
kidnapped.
up for 5 minutes. Yeah.
Usually, she gets kidnapped. So then she gets kidnapped, and then it's all fine. Like that's how you write erotica.
And then she's like, "Oh my god, you were the good guy all along. I love you." And then they're done.
Yeah, I feel like with this book, right, she's like, I want to write a thing about a thing. And she was like, oh, plot. And then she's like, wait, no, I wanted to write a romance book. Crap, let's try and fit the romance in this book.
Let's do both. Porque no los dos.
Yeah,
We don't-
and it
don't
doesn't
do
really
both.
work. You know, you need either like a lore heavy like adventure, or you need boinkity boink boink, and the two don't mix, okay? Because something has to take precedent. So if you're
Yep.
going to write erotica, the plot is in the back seat because it has no business being here. It's not. Nobody's here for the plot. Nobody cares.
Everyone's
just
here to
writing
read some boink.
Yeah, so I just read over like the last book, because I'm trying to find one other thing in this review, but I just read this last bit. The romance, just unbelievable. We have a hundreds-of-year-old angel, for fuck's sake, a fallen angel, but still an angel, and out of fucking nowhere, he swoops in and saves Lily, that pretty much stalks her and teases her and taunts her like a sadist and manipulates her sexual emotions for years, and then falls for the girl for no fucking reason. Well, color me incredulous.
Okay, yeah. So another thing we're talking about Lily is that the problem, one of the biggest issues with her character is that she doesn't have like opinions about shit other than Happy Meals. So like, does she like to read, to draw, to knit, to
Yeah,
dance?
but like in erotica, do people really have personality?
It helps. It helps.
Yeah, but like,
Even in 50 Shades of Grey, she's tea obsessed.
well, she has a lot of personality. Actually, Anastasia does, because she likes to read, she likes to work, she likes to do.
I mean, she's semi-schizophrenic with all the people living in her head, but
No, that's different. I stand that series for no fucking reason.
That's not
it's
okay. with me.
awful. They bring up her inner goddess and her subconscious like they're actual fucking people over 60 times each.
Yeah,
Over 60 times each.
I'm fully aware.
Her
But who
subconscious-
does want to
her
just get a
inner
billionaire to
goddess
fall in love with you?
Her subconscious librarian scales her over half moon glasses. And I'm like, these are people in your head. They're not real. Why are we acting like they're real?
It's a metaphor.
Okay, all
This is why we
right.
can't do 50 Shades
everybody
of Grey,
stop.
because I'm too passionate.
All right, everybody halt because we have to get going. So,
Yes,
is
yes.
the plot? Okay, you know what? Yeah, lore. So, so she is a
Yeah.
Nephilim, which is a half person, half fallen angel, whatever, half angel, whatever the fuck. And they fight minions, which are minions of fallen angels. And then also there are deadheads, which yeet into people's bodies and go crazy, and then we have to murder them. So she's off to murder the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz.
And minions are corrupted Nephilim, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. And all Nephilim's mothers end up offing themselves because they just can't live with the fact that they loved a fallen angel. It's not a conscious thing, it's a subconscious thing, and they all off themselves. And there's a book of names, and whenever a new Nephilim is born, their name just magically appears in the...
I felt attacked with the fact that there was a magic book. There's a book that just things happen to it, and I was like, God damn it.
We have a book like that.
No.
And then we also learn as well that there's first and second generation Nephilim. So first generation Nephilim are the one. So most of the fallen angels, they fell after they did fuck with a human.
Yeah.
So the child conceived in that initial first fuck is a first generation Nephilim because they have more angelly powers. Whereas after they fell, their powers diminished, therefore the gifts they passed on to their spawn have diminished. So
then also at the sanctuary,
their
which
second
is
generation.
where Nathaniel comes in, they have like a contract. So they sign this contract, they get superhuman powers, and also they live forever. And you can't do
Unless they
anything
die.
but yeah. so that's
And they
that's
don't
where we're
have
at.
to sign the contract. There's a bunch of
Yes.
Nephilim that are just like, you know what, no, I'd rather get married. So they don't.
I'd rather not murder people.
Yeah. So all right. So for some reason she's out fighting things and wearing a short skirt. I don't
Mini
know why.
skirts all the fucking time. That made
Mini
me
skirts and
so
halter tops.
mad.
You can tell when this came out. So she's eating a burger, and then she kicks the shit out of a thing, and then she feels a thing down her spine, and it's him, and it's like, okay. So his name is Julian. He keeps calling her my Lily, which was weird. This doesn't continue.
Yeah,
He
I know.
doesn't-
Oh,
like,
I will say,
the introduction of him
Yeah.
was like,
but
then he got better.
One of all the books we've done, I found this one the hardest to actually even bad books, right? You can at least generally be like, yeah, I can foresee myself being able to listen to this. Whereas chapter 1, I was just like, if the whole book is like this, I quit. I'm not reading this freaking book.
I will
easier to
DNF
listen to.
right fucking now. Yeah,
And-
the chapter one's just a little bit like, ugh, it's a lot.
So she tries
It's
to
done.
attack him, and then suddenly she's all hot and bothered. And then
True.
someone named Anna died. He's like, ooh, you turned on. OMG, gross.
And then
oh
he
my
says,
God.
you blush like a virgin. And she was like, that's because I am.
And
I was
then
like,
yeah,
oh,
my
God,
note about that is,
no.
oh my God, she's a virgin. Great. He wants to boink her. Deadheads are a thing or whatever. That's chapter 1.
Yeah, chapter 2, my first note is, okay, I think we're in a different perspective.
Yeah, I was like, okay, so now we're with a cop. There's a creepy old man we are fighting. His mom self-deaded. There's a girl. I'm assuming it's Lily.
Sorry, my
Apparently, this
headphones
guy
is
is
cut out.
special.
Give me a
Luke
minute.
is here because he's passed out. Because the guy's passed out. Where there's a Nathaniel, we can't
Right.
train him or whatever. So they go to.
That was another thing with this book as well. This whole book, it just ran with the assumption that you just already knew all the characters.
Oh yeah,
It
like
did,
nobody
yeah.
gets introduced.
It jumped feet first into this book. And I was like, holy fuck, okay.
Yeah, I actually thought that there was an issue. In the first thing, I actually thought there was an issue with the audiobook. Where the chapters went all fucky.
Oh, here's the thing. I would have killed in this book for an Atom Alpha of the Columbia Basin Pack.
Or even this is Damien. He gaily danced while being gay. I would have been happy with that.
Just give me
Say anything.
a description of something. Okay, so chapter 3.
I don't even know what any of them look like, except for the fact that Jordan
do.
has
Auburn hair and green eyes.
Yes, and he has shoulder-length blonde hair and blue
Which
eyes.
I don't imagine him as a blonde.
No,
No,
me neither. I do imagine longer hair, though. I can
Also,
get on board with the longer hair.
Can we also just point out the fact that this bitch is like not just under 5 foot, she's well under 5 foot because she barely reaches 5'3" in heels.
Really?
She said at the beginning.
Yeah. So she is like.
She's like 4'10".
Yeah, she's
And
like.
Jordan's really tall, so she doesn't even have to bend over to do anything naughty.
But yet she does. She still does.
But yet she does, and I don't know how.
Remember in the park?
I feel like on her knees she would be too short
He-
to blow
he-
him
on
because he's
on
so
her knees,
tall.
you have to do
supposed to be like amazingly tall, and maybe that's just because of her perspective. Maybe he's actually like 5'7" or something, and she's just like, "Oh my god!"
No, he's my height. He's just like 5'3" and a half,
and she's just like, "Oh my god!"
and she's like, "Holy shit!"
Whoa.
But she's like 4'10".
Yeah, so she's like 4'10", and I'm like, "Do you even okay?" So standing up, you're too tall, but on your knees, are you too short? Like.
Yes, he has to be like half squatting. He has to be in a half squat.
or she can just like half squat.
She could do
She could be working out while
while they're drinking.
while
It's
she's
fine.
blowing.
He's standing on a park bench while she's kneeling.
That would work.
No, sorry, she's kneeling on a park bench while he's standing.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that would work. Okay, anyway. So chapter 3. Okay, let me explain the cop thing. So she like knocks him
Michael.
out. She's like, "Oh my god, you're special." And then they take him back to the thing, and then we're gonna have Michael freaking out. Also, this book is very inconsistent because a lot of the time Michael goes, "Oh, I believe you," and then a second later he's like, "I don't believe it, you motherfuckers."
You fucking what, mate? Yeah.
He's like, "You fucking what, mate?" And then he's like, "Oh, I believe you." And then he's like, "You fucking what, mate?" And then it's like, do you believe this or not?
Can you
Like,
can you just pick? Can we pick a route here?
All right, so now we're in Nathaniel's office. We're arguing about what to do with Michael. Her skirt is short, and we're judging her. There's a whole.
But honestly,
order.
I kind of don't blame them.
Yeah, I don't.
She
either.
should be wearing this.
So there's this whole order of like cop things, which is what they are, and then after that, we're following Corey. There's a driver, and we're going somewhere. It's a whore of a secretary or something, and then I'm okay. Yeah. Now we're gay because Asmodeus pops up, and this like. Very straight man.
This
just goes,
random guy named Corey is like, I want to fuck a man now.
Yeah, and I was like,
Angel.
Okay.
Like, I think that's supposed to show that they have all the but honestly, okay. So there's the erotica plot, there's the normal book plot, and then within the normal book plot, there's the subplot of the nefarious bad guy plot, and we get hints of that throughout it. I wouldn't have a freaking issue if we just eliminated the erotica plot or
eliminated the plot.
Or you can't have both, Jenny.
Because I will say this, the romance between Julian and Lily is hard to buy. Because despite all the time we spend on it, we don't spend a lot of time building it up at all.
Yeah, well, it's because they knew each other before. I think that's why.
Like, give me some build up or something.
I think part of the issue with this as well is, even in erotica novels, there's generally like discussion of them being like, "Oh my god, I can't stand to be away from person" or whatever. Like, like they get the little butterflies, like, every so often, like, so you actually buy it when they're like, "Oh my god, even though we do nothing but fuck and barely talk, like I love you." Whereas Lily and Julian, we're supposed to buy that they're in love by the end of the book. Spoiler alert! Like, what?
Of course, it's a romance novel.
Yeah,
but not once do they ever feel the warm and fuzzies about each other. They're just like, "Oh, I see you. I'm horny now."
Yeah, I see you, and I want boink.
That is all they feel towards each other, and yet we're supposed to buy at the end that they're in love.
Yeah,
they are.
I don't get it. I also look, if you're going to write a book where so much of the first book making more sense is reliant on a sequel or a series or something, you damn well better do the sequel or series. Because like, it's one thing where, can't believe I'm going to do this, but like, at least PC and Kristen, right? They exposition the fuck out of that book.
Oh my god.
So, even though there's not going to be a sequel, like there were storylines left unfinished, we weren't confused. We were confused, but not for the reason. Like, we were confused about them singing a plane into a safe landing. Okay, that's what we were.
Oh, good God.
And singing and dancing away a tornado. Okay, different. It was stupid. But this, I'm just like, where is the rest of the lore? I feel like I've got a smidgen of it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So finish the series if you're going to have cryptic lore, okay? Finish the
Yeah.
series. I don't care if it doesn't sell. Just finish it.
My
Please.
first. Okay,
Plus, it's Jenny. She can afford it.
my first note for chapter 4 is more horny people. 'Cause,
Mine is Michael again. Time for exposition.
yeah, so it's Michael again, and he's like horny for Lily, but this goes nowhere.
But we
She's a
don't
pine
even really
Yeah.
get.
Lily wants a
Like,
milkshake. He
I
wants
was
to
expecting Michael and Lily to be siblings.
I was expecting something to come
Like,
out of it.
once-
I was expecting something too.
Once it was clear that they weren't going to do a thing, I was expecting it to be a sibling thing then.
Yeah, you know who
And
knows?
that they were both super special, like children of thingy. But that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, nothing's going to happen because there's no sequel. But
Yeah, fucking
I know.
alas. Now
also,
we're just confused.
Jenny, don't put this up on your website as a standalone book. Put it in an unfinished series category.
And then
on the
finish
standalone.
it, Jenny. Honestly, I
Because
want to
we-
know what
we
was
went-
supposed to come of this.
We went into this expecting a closed loop story, okay? And all we left with are questions. It's not right, guys. It's not right.
Okay.
Oh,
so
but yeah, sorry. Michael was supposed to be our expositional character where everything gets
Oh,
explained to him because he's the
yeah.
new guy. And we got almost nothing still.
okay, so basically, we're talking about like Archer, Detective Daniel Archer, or whatever. He's one of us. Okay, exposition. Angels did blink. God is grumpy. Angels
Oh.
can guide souls.
Wait,
They destroy innocent souls. Still just explaining. Can't exercise a soul. We're over explaining.
Moment.
There are better ways. Michael doesn't believe her. It's a whole thing.
okay. Do you want to know how Daniel's spelled?
Oh God,
No.
how is it
I'm
spelled?
sure I fucking. What the fuck? How? Hold on, real quick.
I didn't even know
My book
Daniel.
club would say, if it's a name like Daniel, please stop it. Like,
Wait.
you don't need any.
Wait, no. I
like,
need to see this before you tell me because I need to.
none of that. Okay, if his name is Daniel,
No.
I need to be
Yeah.
able to.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah,
That's not how we're doing this.
Coaparin.
it's with a
You
Y.
And an
Dan,
N.
y'all.
Wait a minute. Can you spell it out?
Danyal.
Daniel.
Daniel with not double.
My brain would never be like, oh, that's Daniel.
I didn't realize it until like halfway through the book, and I was like, oh shit, wait, that guy's name is Daniel.
Yeah.
Jenny.
Wait. You know what though? At least none of them have done this to us yet. I'm gonna put it in the actual chat so you can bring it up. Or we can just disconnect again. Okay.
I'm waiting.
See that? It's in the YouTube chat.
What the fuck is that?
What is that?
Are you ready? You ready to find out what this name is?
Yeah.
And this is actually a name that at least one child has been given.
Okay.
Noel.
What?
Repeat.
Noel. Because there's Noel in there.
I'm done. Okay.
I hate my life.
We're just gonna leave that there.
I am canceling my free trial of life.
Yeah, same. Can I get my money back? Like,
Yeah,
all
right.
So also, here's another thing that I noticed about this. And this is something that's kind of common to erotica novels, but like the use of swearing is really fucking cringy. And we've had long conversations about this, but like there are effective ways to use swearing. But just like in your head being like, I don't like this bullshit. Stop it.
But also when they're like oh, I know you want to say screw off right now. I'm like, then just say fuck off. Like you're saying fuck. It's not like you have a vendetta against the word. Just say what you mean. It feels more awkward when you say screw off because no one says that anymore.
So now we're going to an abandoned school to show him minions, and now he must.
This is the not gay side plot.
Oh yeah, so this is Michael. So we're taking him to an abandoned whatever to show him minions, and now he's horny again, so he must save Lily. And now he believes things, except for like 2 chapters later, he doesn't. So it's fine. So then in chapter 6, things are going south because he yelled things. It's super hard to murder them. They vampire when they die, so they into ashes. Michael believes still. Luke is on babysitting duty with Michael, so we send Michael home with Luke on babysitting duty, and we're settling in for the night. She likes her apartment. Also, they're at the sanctuary, and now she's going somewhere. We think it's the apartment, but no, she's going clubbing, and then she does a hand job in a laundry room
with this random guy, yeah.
But she's
we see once more
time, and then she's like, "I'm sad," and that's it. So now we're with Nathaniel, and then this was, does he like her now? I was very confused, and then we're with Corey again. Corey dead. Back to Mike. Lily here. Mom suicide. Bad thing. Then there's a fight.
Yeah, they're there to kill Lily, but not Michael. And then I was confused. I was like, did she pass out? No, she did not. She just banged her head. And some guy named Ball, the fuck is this guy's name? Bale? It's spelled B-A-A-L.
Okay, yeah, no, if you want it to be a thing, you need to add the apostrophe in the middle of the 2 A's.
Oh God!
You know what? I'm taking that out. But I
that's a loaded statement.
That is a loaded statement. But in any case, yeah. So Bale is here, and then he's like, "Oh, my precious," and then Julian.
Yeah, dude, his energy is weird.
Julian's the rescue. She hurt. Nathaniel takes her. Okay, now to Bale. So we're inconsistent, and also we're inconsistent how much Michael believes. Also, though, with the scene with Bale, he basically murders people that look like
her.
Which, do you know how hard it is to find somebody with striking green eyes? Like, do you have any idea how difficult that is? It's like the rarest eye color aside from
like green. Green is like the rarest eye color, right? But then vibrant green is even harder.
Yeah.
Because there's all different shades of green.
Yeah. So now we're inconsistent. Now Michael doesn't believe stuff anymore. And then I put in another person who wants to boink Lily. I don't even know who I was talking about, but like
insert all the male characters.
Insert all the male characters. So then we move to 10. Lily is thinking about Julian. Julian is in the bathroom because she is in the bathroom and she's naked in a tub. And so apparently he pull a Stefan from the Mercy books. He was popping in and out. And they're also flirting, and she's worried because of Anna and how she died. So, and then chapter 11, I was like, okay, we're kissing. Okay, dirty talk, gross. Okay, we did.
Yeah, and he's like, tell me no. Like, I'm serious. Tell me no if you don't want me to do this. And she's just like, no, I want you to. And then they don't boink, but they don't.
But apparently she begs him to do boink though, and he's like, no.
She does. She begs him to do boink many times, but he's like, no, like I shouldn't. And we find out later it's because they create a bond between each other, kind of like imprinting, but not like from House of Nights, kind of like imprinting, except you know where the other person is.
We don't explore that at all. They're just like, there's a bond, but nothing changes.
Because there was supposed to be a sequel.
Well, not just that, but like all of the stuff as well, right? Like, you know, like none of your protections will work. You know, he can always find you. He always knows where you are, etc. He already could do all that. So now I'm like, did they already have a pre-existing bond? Like, again, we didn't get to explore that. I'm like, it never gets mentioned.
I would, you know what? I want a second book.
I do too. I want a second book. Okay, what's Jenny's Twitter?
All right. Yeah, no, find it.
So while you do that, I'm going to go get a drink.
So we're back with Michael, and then now we're happy about orgasms, and we're going to get Michael's shit from the stuff. So we go get it, and then we're back to the sanctuary, and then training. I'm bored. Senator, honestly. They want a compound, which never comes up again because they were supposed to be a second book. Okay.
Well, yeah, they're like for kids. So he wants to steal children, and they do mention later in the book that, like, whatever, NILF Guardians, I don't know what the fuck these people are called.
This makes me really angry. Alexa, make the living room lights red
To
reflect my grumpiness.
And they mention it once, and again, I want a second book. I just want a second book.
Yeah,
Where's
so
Jennifer L. Armentrout on Twitter?
So after this, we're snooping. We're looking for the traitor because apparently there's a traitor. Okay, so like Damon is a thing, and now we're hunting alone, and Julian is here to help. Julian wants to spend time with her. Okay, now all this is a thing. They're talking, etc. So Julian is not a dad. We find that out. We're making that again. Now they're doing things. Still doing things. By things, I mean half boinking. And then
She doesn't have a Twitter, guys. I can't tweet her. I can't tweet her asking.
Email her.
Jennifer L. Armentrout, parentheses, J. Lynn. I am writing to you to sincerely ask you to write a sequel to Unchained. Thank you,
If not,
Adeline.
please tell us what was supposed to happen.
Do you like the red lights because I'm angry?
Yes.
That's what this is for.
To make your hair look like that it's glowing.
Yeah. It makes it look like I fucked up the roots. I didn't. But yeah.
Wait, no. On her website, there's a Twitter link.
What
How did you? It's JL Armentrout. How did you not find that?
I typed in Jennifer L. Armentrout.
You need to tweet her.
Oh, because so her handle is JL Armentrout, and then her name is JL Armentrout News.
Yeah, tweets
Blue
are not
check
monitored.
verified.
Tweets are not monitored. She does not check her tweets.
Oh,
Tweet her anyway.
Jeremy!
Just do it. So now someone's possessed as they're doing things, and then Michael's mom, and then we find out that Michael's mom didn't self-dead. That's the thing that we find out because somebody calls her and is like, Danielle calls her and is like, Danielle calls her and is like, hey,
Danielle.
he didn't self-dead. Also while they were snooping in the office, what happened is Micah was snooping and then she was like, how dare you be a snooping? I'm going to snoop. So then she pulls out files on people.
And then she copies
We
them.
find out that Michael's like really fucking boring, which is not a thing you should tell me about a character that I'm supposed to be following. And also we suspect Micah of being the traitor. So anyway, so 17, we have Nate and Lily talking. We give Michael the contract and talk about that. They're immortal, etc. All fallen or bad. Or no, then Michael's talking to someone else. I forget who he was talking to, but he was like, are all the fallen bad? And whoever he was talking to was like, man, I don't know. Was this Luke?
It was.
Okay. So then 18, Lily wants Mallet.
Or Rafe, one or the other.
Yeah, and now we're talking about things with Julian, and he's like, hey, you think I'm evil? Yeah, okay.
Wait.
Well, I don't kill innocents. Neither do I. And
There was one thing that confused me here, because she could marry a Nephilim,
yes.
but she can't kiss or boink.
no,
a Nephilim.
it might have been her own rules where they put it.
Well, but
Oh.
I feel like that I got the impression that was her own special set of rules.
right, because she was like, I can give my virginity to somebody or whatever, so I treasure it. And I was like, okay.
Cool. Okay.
Go for it. But so then the way this is affecting my nose is just fucking weird anyway.
They have a big ass fight on a roof, and he's like, "You deserve better. There's more to you than just the sanctuary."
Yeah, he's like, you cannot
"Right,
just be a Nephilim, you must also be a Lily. And she's like, ah. And then
She's like, I mean, you're right, but fuck
he's
you.
like, you're a puppet. And so now we're arguing. Okay, so now after that, we're thinking on a rooftop, and Gabe is here. And Gabe is like, hey, we haven't done point.
No, it's a few weeks later, and she's at the sanctuary, and Gabe's like, "Yo, you wanna?"
Sorry, I have
Mara?
a thing I need to say. So
Yes.
Jenny's got a new book coming out in April, which is the third book of her Blood and Ash series. The first book of the Blood and Ash series won the Goodreads Choice 2020 thing.
What is it called? Blood and what?
Blood and Ash.
So are
The
we
first
gonna
one is
read
called
it?
Blood and Ash. Then the second one
We
is
need to
Kingdom
read
of Flesh
that.
and Fire. The third is The Crown of Gilded Bones. And
What
on
is this
her,
about?
And on her Facebook, advertising the third one, it's got a thing for like the crown of gilded bones, and it's like, you descended from the ones born of the flesh and fire of the most powerful gods. And I'm like, well, that sounds intriguing.
The MC's named Poppy.
The most popular review is a 1-star review. We should do this next, I feel like. Let's do this next.
Note, I did not finish reading this. Welcome to another episode of Sophia Hates Everything. I like it. Today's guest is from Blood and Ash, or as I like to call it, Mud and Trash.
But this was the Goodreads Choice 2020 winner from Blood and Ash.
There's another 1-star.
Thing.
Okay, yeah, we should.
Okay, so
Penelope Belfour. What the fuck is that? It sounds like our D&D characters.
Belfour? That
Yeah.
sounds like your D&D character's last name.
Athena Bovator.
Yeah, Bovator.
Well, so what we did to like name our characters was we took names we liked and then smushed them together. So I took Theodora and Serafina and got Theophina, and then Salvatore and Beaumont, and then we wound up with Bovator. Okay, so all right. I don't want spoilers. I don't want spoilers. So we're doing this next. I've decided.
okay.
Okay, so after Gabe is like, hey, half boink, goodbye, we meet Julian, and now Julian is like,
He's like, are you jealous?
So now someone has caught her, so Micah's here, and Micah's like,
Wait, no, but first she's like, what do you do during the day? And he's like, oh, well, I made a pedophile kill himself today. That's what I did. That's what he does in his free time.
And she's like, I don't know how I feel about that. See, like, we talked about this earlier, but I don't like how nice he is. Like,
Oh yeah, like the only way to make him like a character worth her loving is he has to spend his free days like killing pedophiles.
Sorry.
Like when that came up, like when that scene happened, all I got was, I'm not like other fallen running through my head. I'm not like other fallen.
I'm not like other girls. It's
okay. So Micah's grumpy about this. And Micah has been following her around to keep her safe and shit like that.
because he walks in on them making out.
Yeah, he walks in on them with like her tongue down Julian's throat.
Her legs wrapped around his waist because that's the only way they can make out.
Which, like, a weird way to make out. I'm sorry. In any case, so now he's caught her, and now we're here, and now Julian's also really cranky. Yes, hello.
You don't immediately mount your boyfriend every time you give him a kiss?
No.
What's wrong with you?
I know, right? I'm fucking up.
But that's how you're supposed to.
You know what? You're right. I'm sorry.
According to all the books, that's how you kiss someone.
Next time we blink, I will yell his name very loud and see how he reacts. I'm kidding.
Please do and see what happens.
No, I wouldn't be able to do it.
Well, imagine running into your neighbors the next day as well.
I wouldn't be able
because they hear it.
I wouldn't be able to bring myself to do something such as that.
I wouldn't be able to look Stixie in the face for like a week.
No, either. Like, look. There's a lot of things I will do for the lulz, but not that.
I let the lulz interfere with my sex life.
So now Mike is like, "You're an evil fallen," and Lily's like, "No," and then she's like, "Stop hurting him for me," and he's like, "All right," and so then Mike is like, "Rare," and is gonna attack him when his back is turned or something, and then Lily's like, "No," and then does the thing to him, and so now Luke is here, and he's like, "Oh my God, what's going on?" So, and we're talking about the thing. Okay, so we don't go back to the thing because he's like, "You need to come back to the sanctuary with me," and she's like,
"No."
And she's like, "No, I don't wanna." And
she doesn't.
So she doesn't. So she goes to her apartment, which how do they not know where that is? But anyway, so we're at the apartment and Julian and I'm like, "Now do we do boink?" We boink. So they're boinking. And also
they boink for like a day and a half.
Yeah, she was wearing a halter top, which I noted because it was dumb. Why you fall? IDK. And then he's like, let's run away. And then she's like, nah. And so they boink again. And okay, real quick. I'm sorry. But if you're a virgin, the last thing you want to do after boinking is boink again.
50 times.
And they just boink for 10 days straight. And it's like, I hurt just thinking about that.
Oh, you know what? Okay, so it's not the worst thing I've ever read, okay? Because I read the tampon scene from 50 Shades, okay? It's not the worst thing.
Don't let Addie say
that. She wouldn't defend.
We're going to ask her
when
she
gets
one,
back. Even people that like, no one in the history of ever, except for whatever the frick E.L. James or whatever the fuck's name is. She's the only one that went, you know what would be hot? Him pulling the tampon out.
Oh, stop. I can't.
Okay.
Hey, Addie, how do you feel about the tampon scene? I need to know. No,
see, she's not going to defend it. It's fine. But, okay, so what I'm referencing in this book, nowhere near as bad as that, but it still made me...
I can mute you. Okay, I can forcibly mute you. Know that. How do you feel about the tampon scene?
I hate it. It's disgusting. It wasn't in the movies for good.
Oh, yeah, can you imagine trying to translate that to film?
What? Oh my god!
Can you imagine? No. Yeah, no. But what made me feel a bit icky in the scene again? Nowhere near as bad as that. So, but pretty low bar. Was like after they did boink for the first time, like, you know, he got up to clean himself off because, you know, that's what guys do. Yeah. But then he comes back and he wipes her up and she's like, and he wiped away all traces of my virginity. And I'm like, oh.
No, thank you. Okay, but this is the thing. Like, if you bleed, that shit hurts, okay? And so the idea that she's just like, I'm ready for round 10 after that is like preposterous.
But like, again, like,
virginity in a book, please.
Yeah, like, I mean, I do understand, especially like, you know, I mean, it's nowhere near as bad if like there's condoms involved because like mess doesn't get everywhere, you know.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, I've got 2 kids, so obviously I've had unprotected sex, you know, it's a thing. And like, I get that you need to like, you know, clean up after, because otherwise she gets messy. If Stixie tried to clean me up, we've been together for almost 9 years. If he tried to clean me up, I would be like, excuse fucking you. What are you doing? But I think it's supposed to show that he's caring and tender. It's creepy and it's gross and it's weird.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't like it. I dislike it. So after they boinkity boink boink, there's a boink montage, and then we go back to the sanctuary. And for some reason, like, she doesn't understand the gravity of what's going on because she's just continuously shocked. She's like, I can't believe that people are upsetty spaghetti about this. And I'm like, why?
But then also I kind of can't believe that people are upsetty spaghetti about it because she gets like a 2-minute talking to, and then she's in a Michael status meeting.
Yeah.
Like nothing. Like I'm like, did you mix these scenes up? Did you put them in the wrong spot?
Right.
Because she's not just chilling, having a status meeting about Michael 2 minutes after she's disappeared to do boink with Julian for a day and a half.
Yeah, so then we have that, and then now we're running away because she's like, I don't want to talk to anybody. And then we're back with Michael because she's still training him. And Michael's like, what do you know about my mom? And she's like, nothing. And then she's like, your mom didn't fucking kill herself. And then she's like, why did I say that? So now we're with Lily and Luke, and now Adrian.
Yeah, and we never find out what actually happened to his mom.
Yeah, so we're at a council meeting. And she's surprised that they asked, like, that Adrian. So Adrian's like on top of Nate. That's the structure, I take it. It's not really explained that well, but so she's actually surprised that they're like, did you boink?
Yeah, but like, because what's his face? Nathaniel or whatever. Like, he'd already asked her already at this point, have you done fuck?
Yeah.
Julian. And she's like, and that's why she does a runaway. But like he tells her, like, you know, if you have, that means you've bonded, and he could potentially come on here onto the hallowed of ground. Therefore, everyone here is in potential danger of a fallen angel coming here. And her response is, I don't want to talk about it. And she runs away.
Yeah. So then now we're in big trouble. And now we're back with Julian and we're just hanging out with Julian. And then Bale shows up and we murder Bale.
Which I was kind of disappointed because he said something just as he was dying, and we never found out what it was. Yeah, his last words were, I fucked
your father.
His last two words were, I fucked, and then he dies.
Probably, I fucked your mom.
But maybe. But I feel like the other guy might have been like the bigger bad.
Asmodeus?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was probably her mom or something. I don't know. We never find out. But so then Bale is dead, and then we have more Boink, and then we're back with the senator. Luke wants her locked up. We spar with Michael, and then Luke and Micah come in. Micah's like half dead, and they're like, ah, and then he's like, Julian did this, and so then she goes to Julian, and she's like, "Did you fucking?" And instead of saying, "How come characters don't just go, no, I didn't?" It takes him 10 years to get to know. I would never.
Yeah, like so like I was already sus on Luke. So I'm just like, okay, like he feels like he's going to be the obvious choice, him or Nathaniel, but I was not. Oh, I didn't think it was going to be him.
Yeah.
But as soon as like he brings Micah and he's like, Julian did this. I saw him. I'm like, so you're the bad guy.
Yeah, I was like, I already have my suspicions.
Because Mike is not.
Like, you're obviously the bad guy. And Mike is not the bad guy. So we're like in a whole debacle about that. And then honestly, the way that we find out that Luke is the bad G is dumb. Because Luke kind of just shows up and he's like, I'm the bad guy. And it's like...
Yes, because like we find out like twofold, right? Because there was a minion or whatever that she...
What?
It was so stupid.
It was so stupid.
It was just like... It was like, it's always about Anna. And then it just fucking...
Oh, yeah. Sorry. We have a threefold discovery. So, like, Nathaniel's like, oh, it's always about Anna. It's about Anna. It's about Anna. And then we cut to Luke and Michael. And Michael's like, are we sure she's here? And he's like, how could you? I'm surprised your stupidity hasn't gotten you killed already, and knocks him over the head. And then we cut to another scene where Lily's like approached by a guy that Luke said earlier that he killed, and she's like, but Luke said he killed you. It's like, but he didn't. And then Luke's like, mwahaha, I am the evil. So I'm like, we get 3 reveals in a row.
But like the thing is, we don't even like discover that Luke is the bad guy like through anything. Luke just pops up and is like, I'm evil, bitch. And she's like,
but Luke,
and I'm like, I quit.
And he's like, and I killed Anna, and I did this, and I did that, and here's all of my past deeds.
Yeah, like he just lays it out, and it's like he didn't have to do that, but okay.
And his motivation is Nathaniel let Anna do a bang bang with a fallen. Or okay, he didn't take any preventative measures to he more or less said to Anna, I don't think this is wise, and he left it at that because Anna's a full-grown woman. And so he wasn't going to lock her up for associating with a person. And then, she did a bang-bang, and Luke's like, how could you change yourself? So then he kills her. And now he's mad at Nathaniel for not stopping it. So he's trying to take down the sanctuary.
He's a minion. Huh? So he's a minion now, and we're told that, like, this is why...
He doesn't even know that he's a minion.
Well, we're also told that, like, he was a minion, so that's why he's evil. And I'm like, okay, but in order to become a minion, he had to look at someone and go, I disagree with your sexual activity. I'm going to kill you. Yeah. He was already a terrible person.
Like, what he is ultimately, he's like, after everything I did for her, she still did a thing. And I'm like, so what you are then is you're the nice guy who thinks that just by virtue of being nice, you deserve to do fuck with the girl.
Yes,
that's what he is. And then he's chucked a world-class tanny.
Yes. That's what he did. So after that, we kill everybody, and then also Michael pops in with like the sword of the Archangel Michael, which was really fucking on the nose. And I saw that coming too. I was like, his name is Michael. Like nobody.
As soon as they were like, "Oh my god,
his
name's Michael," fucking lol.
So his name was Michael, and his mom didn't kill herself because Michael was born from the Archangel Michael, and they did a boinkity boink boink, but it was a planned boinkity boink boink, so therefore it's not bad. So
therefore he did not fall, therefore he has angel powers.
Yes. So we find that out. Do we find out who killed his mom? I don't think we do.
No, like literally we find out like the ending of the book is just like this omniscient kind of like, here's what happened after the events of Luke dying.
Right. So we go to Luke's funeral because like, nobody is told about this other than the people that know, which seems dumb to me. Like there's no reason to hide what Luke did, but okie dokie. And basically everybody lived happily forever, happily ever after. Whatever.
I fucking suppose, because we don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of unanswered questions. Also, like a lot of the way that the information was given to us was stupid. You know what? Now I see why book clubs used to not take us as long. And it's because I used to take notes.
Yeah, and you do a good job of commanding the scene and being like, no, fuck you, we're on topic.
But when I don't have notes, I can't do that. So then we're just like, we're talking about dead bodies or whatever. And
I didn't have notes for the past 3 books either because I just couldn't give a fuck anymore.
Okay, so the efficient book club is SDA having notes. Like that's
it's someone, but especially you having notes. Because I know when I have notes and we're going late, I'm like, all right, guys, I'm just gonna start spam reading notes.
Well, yeah, like, but so more or less, that's the book.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot to go. Like, I really expected this to be a standalone, and then reading it, you're like, it's clear.
And now I'm like, I want a book 2, please.
Right, like, and do I want to read book 2? Not really, but like, I just want to know.
I just want to know. I want to read a review about it so I can know what the fuck happened.
Yeah, like, I'm like, I want to know the fuck happens.
Sorry. Yeah, no, I there was a couple of things that you just missed, I think, unless I missed you saying it. We discovered, that because honestly, like even the reveal of how Julian fell, it was so glossed over.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah.
Right?
Okay, so we find out that Nathaniel is a first generation Nephilim, and then we also find out that the reason why Julian fell, which is the lamest reason ever, is because he didn't kill Nathaniel as a baby. And I'm like, that's fucking boring.
Yeah. So. God sent a bunch of angels down to kill the first gen Nephilims. And Julian looked at Nathaniel and he was like, I can't kill you, little boy. And so he didn't, and he fell. But it was so glossed over because what it was like Nathaniel said something snarky to Julian or something, and Julian's like, just because I didn't kill you when you were a baby doesn't mean I wouldn't do it now.
But like this also is used to explain why Nate was like so chill about her boinking Julian and everything, because Nate basically
because he's not like girls.
Huh?
Because he's not like other girls.
Yeah, because he's not like other girls. So he's not like other girls.
So it's fine.
Which honestly takes a lot of the conflict out of it. Like a lot of the conflict of her doing this was that like they're supposed to be evil or whatever. And
yeah, he's a bad guy because he's a good guy.
Yeah, and then so making him like inherently a good guy really takes a lot of the tension out of their relationship.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, okay, so is there a fallen
unless there's like more fallout, like where they end up going to war with like the angels themselves because they're protecting a fallen or something. I don't know.
It's gonna happen, but
Jenny, if Jenny's not going to write a sequel, the least you could do,
divine children. That's like her
Fucking
thing.
tell us. Yeah.
yeah, like there's some shows, right, where the show creatives have come out and said, look, we got cancelled, so here's how the next season was going to go. You know those cliffhangers? This is how they got wrapped up.
Yeah.
Just for your peace of mind, this is what happens. It's
Yeah,
like,
that's a nice thing.
that's nice. That's nice. That's what you should do.
Yeah.
Because or they continue it in comic book form, which I can also live with. As long as there's some sort of, this is what happened. But this, I'm just like, shrug. Who is her father?
I'd like to know.
I mean, I don't think I don't think it, for a lot of them, it's going to be important who they're. Maybe Nathaniel's her brother too. Maybe that's why he's so protective of her.
Maybe everyone's her brother. Maybe Remy, maybe Rafe,
Oh, God,
maybe Gabe's her brother, Damon's her brother.
Maybe that's why she couldn't. Maybe that's why she had to have that weird sex role, because Gabe's her brother.
Cassie has come to be the emotional support animal by that statement. Hi, baby.
She's a good girl.
Yes,
All right,
she is.
we're doing Blood and Ash next, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except we'll be taking, if we don't finish that in time for Blood Air 2 coming out, we'll be taking an intermission from it for Blood Air 2 because I am so fucking excited.
Yeah, is it
March 2nd or something?
Yeah. So do we have any news on Blood Air 2 at all?
As far as like story or?
Like what the sitch is with it?
It comes out March 2nd.
Oh, okay.
It's
Happy
coming.
days, then.
It's coming real soon. I'm
It
so
is.
excited. I pre-ordered the hardback because I was like, honestly, I really like this series.
That was such a pleasant surprise.
It was
that
so
book.
pleasant. I'm actually rereading Blood Air right now because I'm like, I don't remember shit.
I remember that chocolate is chocolate. That's the main thing.
That's about all I remember.
I'm remembering how much we all enjoyed Ramson and Anna's relationship.
Yeah.
It's I want them to make out this book. That's my one hope for Blood Air 2 is that Anna and Ramson make out.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a re-listen before that one. Yay!
All right, so
Okay.
are we good?
Yep.
All right, so we're gonna be
Yes,
doing
I think
Morganville
so.
next, probably. But yeah,
Don't know when.
don't know when.
We'll work it out.
So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and we will see you guys